Well, I'm back in Indiana after a week of being in Chicago and New York. Who am I? But I'm with Gare and Steph so that we can just have some routine fun now that I'm not going all over the place.
I just want to say what a time to have a throwback, because I want to say it was like a year ago I read Mad Woman and we were like joking that Chelsea was like the author that got Kate to leave the house, and now she's just like fucking like all over the country at this point.
The trailblazer.
Yeah, just like running everywhere.
Good point.
I'm just going everywhere.
When was that? That's crazy. Oh, it was last summer, August 2024. I read that.
Yeah. And we were like joking about like the Larry Bangs, and I was like, Chelsea's the author that got Kate to leave her house.
Yeah.
And now look at her.
Chelsea Beaker's where it all began. Yeah, and now I've seen Lane Fargo in Wisconsin with Steph, and Ashley Winstead in Chicago with myself, and Mary Kubica and Julie Clark in Chicago with Steph. And oh dude, we literally did that a week ago. That was a week ago, Steph. And I've been to ThrillerFest. Who am I? I'm Bookwild, as Bookwild as I possibly can be.
Yeah, we gotta get something with Gare on the books.
We do.
I gotta hop on that airplane. I gotta hop in a plane, or maybe my car. I don't know.
Maybe we should. We could drive together, save money.
Road trip.
You guys do. No, I'm going to you guys. Nobody wants to come here.
What Nobody are you going to come where I live either.
Girl.
What's someplace cool in the middle?
I'm going to tell you. You know what we have in a 20-mile radius if we stay stateside? 3 McDonald's, 12 Amish buggies, and a pizza place that nobody's heard of.
We can go to the grocery store.
We have to go to Canada.
Oh, we can go to Canada. Maybe we all just need to go to Canada.
I wouldn't mind going. I've never been.
I'm going to dinner at Eska tomorrow for the dill pickle pizza again.
Oh my gosh, you're so fancy.
I have something to say, but we have to cut it out.
Okay, you can say it right now if you want to.
I have a secret.
You have a secret?
Ashley Winstead told me today that she got the official invite to Montreal Mystery Festival next year.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, and I was the one that pitched her to them.
Fuck yeah.
So
wait, they didn't before?
I don't know. They told me basically to like, if I wanted to put my feelers out there to see who I could get to come, like let them know. And so I asked her, and I asked like Joshua Moling and Jess Lowry and May Cobb, Robin Harding, and I was like, you guys better get Jennifer Hillier next year.
Maybe we all need to come to Canada.
I thought she went. She didn't go.
Yeah, I thought you met her, Jennifer Hillier.
No, no, you would. I'd still be talking about it. No, Jennifer Hillier backed out a week before the festival because she had a deadline for her book, and she was like, "This book's gonna kill me." She was like, "I have like a deadline, and like between this and like ThrillerFest, like I can't do both."
Yeah, she talked about how stressed out she is about that book. She's like, "I can't write a book on a deadline. I just can't."
Yeah, and she's probably never had to.
I don't think so. She said when she got her agent, she was like, just so you know, I can't edit on deadlines, so don't expect a book a year from me.
Yeah, wow.
Just whatever. You do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Secret
Well,
Santa's
okay. Over. I mean, I know you're going to do another episode about it, but like, would you have like a most memorable moment or something that like surprised you to learn?
Mm-hmm. Okay, one of the most memorable moments, I got to go to the debut author breakfast, which is on the Saturday, and basically all of the thriller writers who debuted a book in 2024 get honored at the 2025 breakfast. And it was very serendipitous for me because Lori Brand got to talk about her book on stage. And then Corinne Jade got to talk about her book on stage. And then Craig Podolsky got to talk about his book on stage. And those were people whose books I read all of those, and I had them on the podcast. So it was like watching my sweet little favorite friends up there. But
Oh,
another
baby.
cool part of that is last year I did not go to ThrillerFest, and I put out a feeler and I was like, anyone who went to ThrillerFest, do you want to do Attack of the Hiccups, guys? Sorry. Do you want to do a recap episode with me? Because I'd love to hear about it. And Lori Brand and Sabrina Thatcher said that they would do it. So we did a recap. And during that recap, Lori Brand talked about how there was this guy on like an action panel who was talking about his book that sounded so good called The Recruiter by Greg Podolsky. So like I have this video from last year, and believe me, y'all are going to see it. I will be editing it all together. I have this video of Lori Brand telling me like this book sounded good, and me saying like I'm going to request it on NetGalley. I requested it, loved it. Then I interviewed him. So like I kind of got connected to Greg because of Lori going to ThrillerFest last year. And then both of them were up on the stage, and I just felt like a little proud like stage mom. Not that I'm their mothers, but you know, I was just like, oh my gosh, I know these people. So that was really powerful and cool. And I remember Sabrina last year saying it's like one of the coolest moments of ThrillerFest, because then at the end, like everyone stands up and gives them like a standing ovation for like how hard it is to get published and finally getting published. And I'm such a collective effervescence girly. Gare's dropping shit. That like being around everyone clapping for them and like some of them like tearing up on stage, I was like, this is just such a magical and very sweet moment. So I loved that moment. It was such a cool moment. Um, what else was I like surprised by? I was surprised by like just how many panels there actually were. There's really no like lunch break. If you want to be at the panels, you go from like 8 to 5, and I wanted to. So that was fascinating for me. I saw everyone. The other thing is it's actually really hard to like connect with people because the conference is so big. Like there are like 1,000 authors there, I think is what they said. And then you have your aspiring writers or your bookstagrammers as well. So it's like you're not actually having like long periods of time to like be like, oh, I just finally met May Cobb in person. I did. But the other thing, like if you're just thinking about going, like it's just a really busy conference. I still loved it. I really loved hearing the panels. James Patterson is like, he's super funny. I did not expect him to be extremely funny. But obviously he's really prolific. He's at like 300 books right now, I think is what it is. And he was talking about how he gets like shit on for doing so many collabs, but it's because he has so many ideas. So he said a couple years ago he completely wrote and finished 2 full-length novels himself, but he wrote 2,600 pages of outlines because he gets like full ideas for books and writes a 60-page outline and then works with authors because he doesn't have time to execute all of his ideas. And I'm like, what a brain. Like, what a dude. And then he has given 200 million. He didn't say this, his interviewer did. He's given $200 million to libraries, book programs, and HBCUs. And I was like, what a guy. So I was surprised to be that interested in James Patterson because I haven't read one of his books in a very long time, but
Yeah.
he was very interesting.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then a couple hours later, I was in an elevator with him, and I was like, but he was talking to his wife, so I was reading the room and not barging in on someone's conversation. But some people do that. Some people will just barge right in and pitch you something. I had
My first like bookish festival was like the Montreal one a month ago. But like there were so many people that like I have talked to and like DM'd and stuff for like years that I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm like meeting this person for the first time.
yes.
But like I remembered like when I met Vanessa Lilly, like when I saw her in person, I felt like
Yeah.
I was like reuniting with an old friend because
Yes.
we've done like podcast episodes with her.
Mhm.
So like, did you have that experience, or did you feel like everybody that you met you were meeting for like the first time?
So most of them, yeah, it felt like, I was telling Tyler too, I was like, there's not that much different about there's not tons different about like getting to know someone by talking with them a lot and then meeting them in person. Like it's a fun thing because you've been
Yeah.
wanting to. But yes, it's like we immediately had stuff to talk about and like it wasn't like awkward small talk. And like John Fram, he and I don't even talk that much, but like he was on the podcast, and so like when he saw me, he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're here." So yeah, it's a little less intimidating when you know like, oh, there are going to be some of these people that I at least like I know them a little bit.
Did you have like, I feel like I'm interviewing you.
Please do.
Did you have any like moments where like you realized how important you are to authors because of what you do as they are to you?
Yeah.
Is that like the sweetest, most amazing thing or what?
It really is. Like it really is. Cuz like John was like, I'm just glad you loved my book. But then I was feeling really really bad the last night that I was there. Like really bad. Like the migraine just took me over and ran into Sunday as I had to travel home. And so that was my last day there. I'd been there 4 days at that point and I was just so tired. And there were like hundreds of people in the bar and I'm like having to wear sunglasses in my dark hotel room to like feel okay. And Rob Hart was only there for a day and I felt so bad because we didn't end up going to any of the same panels. I went to his, but like I didn't talk to him. We didn't go into any of the same panels. And so then at like 7:30 when I'm literally like, Tyler's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just a headache. Like I just need to sit here." But then like I got up and I was having like the vertigo part of a migraine and I was like, okay, no, I just have to stay here. And that's when Rob was like, "Hey, I'm coming to the bar. Like, you want to hang out?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but like I don't know if I can." Like I felt so bad. I was guilt spiraling out of control. But he texted me and he was like, "It's okay. I understand. I had migraines. I just really wanted to tell you in person how much it means to me that like you've really supported my books for so many years and it's just like a big deal for me." And then I felt even worse.
You're like,
he was so nice.
You're like, "Bring your drink up here. You can hang out with me in the dark."
That's what I told Tyler. I was like, it's one of those things where like, if I don't know that our relationship is a point where I'm like, can we go somewhere private? Like, I don't know if that's going to be weird either, but like, I can't go down there. And I felt so bad, but you know, so yes, there was that moment where I was like, oh, I didn't think he of all people felt that way.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's how I like when I walked into the meet and greet that I was like 2 hours late for in Montreal, like I was like looking and I was like, oh my God, like there are all these people that I'm going to meet for the first time in real life, like authors. And like, of course, my homegirl, like Sneeka, like ran up to me immediately and was like, "Let me take you under my little wing."
Cute.
I fucking love her so much.
She's so lit.
She's so little, and she's like,
I didn't know she was little,
and like she's like a little like badass. Like she's like going through people, and like I don't give a fuck. But like having authors come up to me at that meet and greet, and be like, "Oh my God, I am so glad to finally meet you," when like that should have been my reaction to them.
Yes.
Or like when I was like sitting down at like panels, like watching other people's panels and stuff. And like all of a sudden I would just like look and like every time I watched a panel, like I sat with Vanessa Lilly and it was like we would like find each other. You know what I mean? Like if she was like already there, I'd like come in and be like, "Oh hey, like what's up?" But like just like having her, like Vanessa Lilly, like
I know,
one of my favorite authors in the entire world and like the nicest human being, just
she's
like
so wonderful,
sitting down next to me and being like, "Oh hey, like do you want a mint? Do you want like a dog, like or something, or like her coffee?" And like, "Oh, like I love your shoe." I'm like, "Oh my God, like what is going on with my life?" I know it's really fun. But like, props to you because like people do not like people who haven't gone to them don't realize how crazy busy it is. It's very busy. Like, yeah. Montreal was like a lot smaller version of like ThrillerFest, but like even then I'm like panel, like eat something in a half hour, more panels, like eat dinner, go to sleep. Like by the last night, I was like rolling out of my Uber. Like I was like, get me, like I'm gonna snap in the elevator. I'm just gonna take a little nap in the elevator until I get pretty much. Yeah, especially if you're used to just not being around tons of people. Like
it's
Yeah.
just a whole other thing. But it was very fun. I'm very glad I went. I wish I had the stamina to go out partying until 4 a.m., but I don't. So I missed out on those parts, but I really wanted to hear panels. So
Yeah.
We went like hunting for like snacks.
mhm.
Like we got like late night like poutine and like
Yeah.
donuts. And I mean, the last night I had 4 margaritas, but I was still like in my hotel by like 11. Like we went and got
Mhm.
pizza after, whatever. And
Yeah.
but yeah,
It was also like
you
102
find your crew.
degrees
Yeah,
outside. So I was not leaving. I left once and I was
yeah.
like, that's the last time.
That's
Yeah.
how I felt. Like I was like, I don't want to go out to like bars and like party and stuff like that, just because like that's not who I am anymore.
Yeah.
But like that's why I kind of like found my crew with
Yeah.
like people who are like, I don't care if we have like a few drinks or if we don't drink. Like I was still like going out and having fun and like out until like 10:30, 11 most nights.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun. And yesterday I couldn't stay awake. I basically slept like 8 hours off and on yesterday.
Oh, good
So now I'm alive again for you guys.
Yes.
I'm so glad
But
you had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
also
I really
want to
did.
give you a huge compliment because like the way that you like did your stories and the way
Yeah.
that you edit like when you go on a trip or like the way that you just do media in general is like so addictive to consume for me
Thank
because like
you.
I love how like I feel like I'm right there with you and it doesn't like it looks professional and like fun but like it doesn't look like you're like trying too hard and
Yeah.
like faking anything.
Thank you.
So the way that you do media is like very not only inspirational but like addictive for
Oh
me.
my god.
Yeah, it is like
Thank
you're
you.
talking to your friends, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah, but I also don't feel like you're like, oh, my bag needs to be like on my right shoulder instead of like my left.
Oh,
Like it's just like my
Yeah.
bag's on this shoulder because this is how it
it
is, and
is
like
what it
It's
is.
where
I'm
it
in my
is.
fucking hotel, and you know what I mean. But
Yes. I had someone on that note. It has been fun hearing people talk about like what they felt about the content. Maggie Giles, who is the author of Wicked and Twisted, she came up to me and she was like, I have been loving your stories. She was like, when I saw the one where you were FaceTiming your dogs, I texted my husband and I was like, why don't you ever show me the dogs when we FaceTime? And so she like demanded that he show her the dogs like right then. He was like, no, I'm not FaceTiming you with the dogs right now. And she's like, but Kate saw her dogs.
That's funny.
So it's so funny the different things you like connect with people on.
do your
Mhm.
dogs like do your dogs like get it that it's like FaceTime? Like are they just like, oh hey mom, or like they like a little confused?
Sometimes in the sense that we have to be careful because Bruce gets excited and he hears my voice and like goes to the door and thinks I'm like almost home. But I don't know if he knows that he's looking at me, but he hears my voice and he's like, she's home. So we have to be
Yeah.
kind of careful about it, or I have to not make noises and just look at them and be like,
I FaceTime Murphy like the first night that I was in Montreal, and like
mhm.
I wanted to get the cute screenshot that you got, you
Yeah.
know, and it was like all it was like his chest, like right here, because like he was so confused as to like what was going on, and he was like barking and crying, and it just like did not work out. I was like, okay, he doesn't
always work
understand.
the way you think it will.
He doesn't understand FaceTime yet, but
Yeah.
He'll get there.
but yeah,
Yeah. Layla doesn't understand at all. Doesn't acts like she can't hear anything. Definitely
I
doesn't
just at
look.
all.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. And then Cannon's like, I can hear you, but that's about it. And he's like, and then I don't care. So I'm like, okay, this is pointless. Bye.
Bye.
You guys are lame.
You guys suck.
Yeah. Thought you liked me. Maybe not.
Yeah. Dogs and
Mhm.
travel.
but
Yeah.
But while I was there, I was listening to a book recommendation that Steph made for me,
Oh.
which is a good segue because for our icebreaker, we wanted to talk about books we read because one of us recommended it, and so then we read it. I don't know if that explained it, but I think people will catch on. I'm still yawning. I'm not completely rested. But we're gonna do it. But I was literally like when I was showering I was listening every second that I wasn't in a panel because I started Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson while I was on my flight there. So I had gotten through a decent amount of it. And so like every morning that was what I was listening to. And then I would listen to it at night to fall asleep. That ending is wild. It really is wild.
Gary, you need to read it.
I can't wait to read it. I'm so pumped.
It's
been on my TBR for like so long. I just need to like
talk about bleak, man. You'll
it's
like that.
Very bleak.
Yeah.
Very up your bleak alley. Which also, this is off topic, but not entirely. I watched American Woman yesterday, and all the reviews that hate it are like, this is so bleak. And I was like, okay, well, that's why Gare liked it. And I did enjoy it. Like, it was good. Like, I fall into the camp of like, could some more things happen? But I did enjoy it, and the performances were fantastic.
I think the performances for me were fantastic, and like, I can't. There's a very bleak reason as to why the movie works for me, but like the performances were like fantastic, and I just can love that movie. That's my favorite movie of the year.
It's very, very, very bleak. So
yeah.
So just don't go in for thrills. Like, just expect it's kind of more a bleak family drama, I guess is what I would say. But it is really good. Like, it's definitely worth watching.
It's more like, it's definitely a movie that you watch of like, if you like books that like aren't about a crime that happened, but what the crime leaves behind.
Exactly.
That's what you're going to like with this movie.
Okay.
So like, if you are looking for like a serial killer movie or something like Seven or Silence of the Lambs, like, this is not it.
No, that's not this one. But Allegedly is also pretty bleak. I think you would like it too. But my very short, since this is just the beginning, is like, Mary is accused of killing a baby at 9 years old.
God, you really did keep that short, Kate.
I kept it so short.
Allegedly.
And she stayed... Oh boy, yeah, this is where my brain's at. But she stayed silent. She's basically almost mute while the world condemns her for it, and she's put into like first baby jail, which is juvenile, and then a group home. But when she's 15, almost 16, she gets pregnant and she's in love. And so she has to confront her past because she wants to be able to keep this baby. So that's really all you need to know. It's very much like a stream of consciousness book. You're kind of in her stream of consciousness the whole time, learning what really happened that night, why what happened that night happened, and what she's going to do about it so that she can keep this baby that's growing inside her. And then the final chapter, you're like, oh, okay. Very bleak, very, very bleak, but it was wonderful, and I really did love it as an audiobook.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Steph's like re-traumatized.
She is.
Well, the thing is I don't really remember anything besides the fact that it was crazy. Like, all I know is like, you're just like, I remember, I think I was in the shower, like cleaning the shower or something, and at the end I was like, wait.
Totally.
And immediately went to Reddit and like tried to find like spoiler reviews. Dude, trying to find spoilers when you want to find spoilers and want to find like analysis is really hard.
It is, especially with like not big 5 books.
Yeah.
But if you like are really looking forward to a book and then you go on NetGalley and you just like want to see what other people have to say, spoilers galore.
Yeah, they're not careful about them over there.
That's annoying to me that they don't, of all places, have like a spoiler blur. Or people are just too.
People don't do it. Yeah,
annoying to you.
That annoys me so much. Especially like some like comps or like trigger warnings are like major spoilers.
Yeah. Totally.
They are.
That's the worst.
Well, Did any of you read anything?
Here, you can go.
Okay. I have two, but I'll keep them really short. Kate, one of my favorite books that I've ever read is because you turned me on to Brian Freeman. So like Ursulina is one of my favorite books because it is like
Yes.
everyone has like every town has like a different name for it, but it's like a Yeti or a Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever. And it's this like small town and it's like freezing cold and there's a serial killer who is like emulating this like Yeti version called the Ursulina in this small town, and he's like killing people, but they think it's like the Ursulina, but like it's human, and it's freaking amazing, and it's so dark and it's so bleak and it's crazy scary, and I loved it. And I love it. And then Steph, my next book that I'm reading after I finish the one that I'm wrapping up, I'm going to read the Mindfuck series because you like are so obsessed with it.
Oh my god, I hope you like it. Sorry if you don't, but everyone likes it.
Everyone is obsessed with it. Like the ratings on Goodreads are so like that's what I do to like pump myself up is like I read Goodread reviews, but like every time I look up the Mindfuck series, like Steph's is like the first review and she's like, this is one of my favorite books in the entire world. And I just like always like read your review and I'm like, and like I just decided I was like, I'm gonna like kill my TBR so that the last week of June I can read the Mindfuck series.
You're gonna fly through it because each book is really fast.
Yeah, the font's pretty big too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's like 5 books in one, but it's still only 100 pages longer than like those prison romances I was addicted to. So I'm like, I got this.
Yeah, you do. Well, since you said one for both of us, I feel the need to say that I am reading Night Watcher right now because Gare was so obsessed with it.
Oh, I almost requested the audio because it just popped up on NetGalley for me. I just don't know, like, do you think Gare, like, are there multiple perspectives in that book or timelines or like how?
So I'm listening to it.
Oh, you are listening to it.
I'm listening to it because I got approved for the audio book. I just got denied the physical.
Oh.
It's very easy to follow via audio. Okay. I'm really enjoying it that way. And I'm like at 70% now since I switched over. Yeah.
So, okay.
There's mostly one perspective, and then there is a second one that's like 10% of the chapters. Most of the time you're with Nola.
Okay. Yeah. I actually am so obsessed with that because I love that book so much. And Daphne sent me a signed copy and it arrived today with a really, really, really nice note. Oh, this is
perfect timing.
Yeah. It came with like a really nice note and her tissue paper was like super cool. But I was like, oh my god, what a sweet little angel baby. I love her so much.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm gonna request the audio and I just started a new one.
You should. I requested it. I was just in the airport and I was like, I need to just look at these. And so I requested and I got that approved the next day and the Stacey Willingham one, Forget Me Not. I got it via audio even though they denied me for digital. So for anyone who does do both, if you get denied for the digital, you can always keep an eye out for the audio. Yeah.
Oh, Helen Laser's good. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Grandpa Gare.
Request. Chat.
Paperback pusher.
I mean, you still get through them really fast.
I have been like flying through books. There's
like, certain ones where I like know I want to put my eyeballs on it though still. There's certain ones.
Night Watcher, I had to like physically pause myself because I wanted to like enjoy it and like not like binge it in like one sitting. That was one of my favorite readings.
The explanation is not one of my least favorite explanations ever, but I don't think it will be.
What's one of your least favorite explanations?
The boyfriend.
Kate, I'm about to request it.
He doesn't have to tell me, and I'm gonna cut that part too. But that's what I hate. I hope the boyfriend isn't. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm saying I hope it's not headed that direction. So we'll see.
I don't think that you will be disappointed with the ending.
I wasn't getting the vibe that I would.
No, it's not cheesy. I can see where it's. What's the word I'm looking for? Divisive.
Okay.
Like some people are like, that didn't work for me, and like other people like me were like, that slaps and tracks. But like I don't think that you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it. It's atmospheric and creepy.
God.
Like, I am enjoying it thoroughly. So,
Living
How
out in the
long
middle.
is it? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
what'd you say?
How long is it?
Let's see how long the audiobook version.
I hate when people text me when I'm doing a podcast and it beeps on my laptop in my ears and deafens me.
Okay, it says I have
Leave me alone.
3 hours left, but it doesn't tell me if I have 3 hours left and I'm at exactly 2/3, so it must be 9 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Usually it says in the additional information part of NetGalley, but it does not today.
Losers.
I wish it was a 24-hour book.
It's good.
Reading that and then having to take Murphy outside in the middle of like the night when it's like pitch black and there's like woods outside my house, I'm like, that was terrifying.
Well, there you go.
Well, I have one because I think you've both read it, and I have not finished it yet. I started it today.
Ooh.
And it is, my library hold came in for Julie Chan is Dead.
Oh,
I love it.
So fun.
I'm
So
on
fun.
page 62, and a lot has happened already.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see why I loved it.
So I'm like, and I love it. Like I like cruising through, and I get to like, I'm like, oh, I just randomly opened to page 222, and we're already on chapter 49. Like, yes, okay, that's what I like to see. I like some short chapters. It's going fast.
It goes
I
by
like
very
her
fast.
voice.
And they all had like little like cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Like where you're like, I'm not gonna put this down. That was
She's
really
so
fun read.
talented.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
really liking it so far.
Very ready for her another one.
There's something that made me laugh already, but I can't remember what it was. But...
Was it the line where she's like, I know I look bad, but I should at least look better than a corpse?
Oh, no.
There were so many
one.
like snarky,
That
funny
one
things.
cracked me up.
Yeah, I don't know where it was, but I was just like, oh, I don't know, but there's some things that I probably don't want to say out loud if you haven't read it yet, but
The gist of it is Julie Chan and her sister are twins who are separated when their parents are in a car crash when they're young, and Julie Chan is taken to her poor aunt who's abusive, and her aunt says she won't take care of them. And then what is the sister's name that's alive? Or the sister who's in New York? Chloe. So then Chloe calls her. She goes to see Chloe in New York. This is all in the synopsis, guys. She goes to see her in New York and finds her dead in her apartment. And she's like, wait a second. I could pretend that I died and take over her glamorous life. So.
Yeah, because everyone thinks it's her anyways. Like, people are like, oh, I don't know. They're just like, oh, hey, Chloe. And she's like,
I could do this.
Yeah, and she realizes like how much money her sister's making as an influencer, and she's like,
Yes.
well, I'm broke.
Yes.
She
doesn't hurt anyone.
So I'm sure a lot of hijinks will ensue, but
yeah, the ending is fantastic, as in like the very last chapter. I loved it.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, our official topic is a callback to one of our episodes when we started joking about how many blue and yellow covers there are for thrillers. So we are going to talk about our favorites that hit that. I also have to say something funny that I just saw in my notes. When Steph and I were at Barnes & Noble in Chicago with Mary Kubica and Julie Clark was talking about how the really cool cover came to be for the Ghostwriter. And she was like, I told them I don't want a house with a person in the window. Yeah. And Steph and I were like, oh my God.
Yeah, and Mary Kubica is like, yeah, that's what they want to put on mine, pretty much. But they're saying it's pretty much a calling card that like people at a bookstore will kind of know, like, this is the kind of book I like reading.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, but like every time I hear an author talk about their cover experience and when they were like swayed to do something they didn't necessarily want to do, the consumer in me is like, I disagree.
Yeah.
But whatever, I guess they do research and all kinds of things, but
I'm also that person that like sees a book with like a couple or a person in like a window, and I'm like,
Gimme.
give it right now.
Yeah. We're not condemning the cover, by the way, because we've all read plenty of them. We're just collectively chuckling at how prominent they are.
I think I kind of cheated because some of mine are ones that I didn't read, but they're on my TBR, and I really, really,
That's
really want to
okay.
read them.
I actually have
Okay.
read fewer than I thought, and I actually wrote in one of my reviews, I did condemn that cover.
That's amazing.
I was like, these are not it. But there's some good ones though. Still, the ones I
There
do
are
pick up
some
are
really
pretty
good
good.
ones.
Yep.
Which coincidentally, when I posted our reel where we joked about it, and like it showed, I kept popping up the covers for what we were kind of joking about.
Mhm.
John Fram responded and he was like, "This is too funny," and I was like, "I was about to bring yours up, but we did move on." So my first one,
Oh, there you go,
is "No Road Home" by John Fram. Yeah, I've talked about this one enough that I do think I can probably do this without reading the whole synopsis, but Toby is the main character who marries Alyssa Wright, and her family, the Wrights, are these like megalomaniac televangelist family, like very powerful. And so they go, I'm sorry guys. They go to their like very gothic mansion, and this is his first time meeting them because he married her when they were in a different state. And once they get there, some strange supernatural stuff starts happening. Toby's son starts seeing some of it, Luca. And then of course storms happen and close off the roads out from this compound. So Luca is seeing some supernatural shit, but also the family seems not to have the best intentions with sweet Luca, and Toby is a dad who will do anything to protect his queer son. So, very gothic vibes, kind of like very Ruth Ware. That's even in the blurb. Ruth Ware, Paul Tremblay, very
Christopher Rice.
gothic. There's like horror that's at the end, and I really, really liked the way the very small amount of horror came in at the end. But horror, thriller, mystery, it's everything that it says for it. So if that's up your alley, you have to read this one. I love it so much.
I think you would love The Snow Garden, A Density of Souls, and like some of the early Christopher Rice thrillers, because like now that I'm thinking about it, they have that like oh shit moment and like the end when like all the shit hits the fan.
Okay. I'm writing them down, especially because these could be backlist picks.
Density of Souls and Snow Garden, I know, are the two that I would say
Okay.
go with that. Like
I'm writing
that
those
shit
down.
crazy.
Yeah. We chose Bloodline by Jess Lowry as our backlist for July. They heard us talking about it. They were like, "You said you wanted to read that one." And I was like, "Let's do it."
Oh my god.
get ready.
Giddy up.
You're gonna be like, you guys are fucking weird. That's probably what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna be like, I know, I never said it wasn't.
All
we're
of the
all
things
weird.
that we've recommended to Kate, I don't think that she's gonna think this is weird.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No.
Honestly, like
Weird to me is like flirty romance in the midst of a thriller. So
I have one that's a blue and yellow cover by a man named John that I love, John Mars. Keep it in the
which one?
family. Keep it in the family.
Yes.
And I just talked about this book recently, and I probably talked about it a lot, but I like am so obsessed with this book that I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
But basically it is about Mia and Finn, who are turning a derelict house into their dream home. But Mia becomes pregnant. When they think that the house is ready, she discovers this message that is like carved into one of the boards in the house that says, "I will save them from the attic." So she goes up to the attic and finds that their dream home was once a house of horrors. Baby arrives and Mia cannot like stop thinking about what happened in the house, and like it kind of becomes this like obsession for her. And then it says that secrecy shrouds the mystery of the attic, but when the shards of a dark truth start to emerge, she realizes the danger is terrifyingly present.
Ooh.
it's just one of my favorite books in the entire world. It is so
Oh,
dark. It is so like eerie, and there's like dual POV and dual timeline,
yeah. I
and
need
it's
to bump
perfect.
that one up.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and John
forgot you
Mars is
haven't
like
read
the
that, Kate.
oh my
Yeah, I
God.
haven't.
And John
And
Mars is like the nicest human being in the world.
He's so
I'm
cool.
so surprised that you had not read that until lately, Gare. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Girl,
shocked.
me too. Me too. This is how Kate's gonna feel with Bloodline. Like you told me to read it, so I put it on my TBR, and then like TikTok that knows me so well, like I would keep scrolling TikTok, and it would be like Keep It in the Family is like the darkest, bleakest, most like disturbing book I've read. Like this is like check your trigger warnings, and like it wasn't that bad for me, but I was like this is definitely dark and bleak. But then like I just finally like took the plunge and picked it up when I caught up on like my arcs for that month, and I was like this is brilliant.
Oh boy.
I love that one chapter. Isn't that the book where there's one chapter that just says fuck?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And it's
Oh.
like a really like huge like reveal. And then like the next
Okay.
chapter is like fuck. And like that's what you're
Mhm.
thinking as the reader too.
That's
So
cool.
it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, it's Kindle Unlimited.
Oh yeah.
It's now in my Kindle Unlimited. Fuck yeah.
I'm staring at it now.
How many are we talking about today? Just
I'm
wondering.
kind of thinking 3 since we're already at 50 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see. I have one. So the first one that makes me really think about this style of cover is called Believe Me Now, which I read. Oh, it came out in June. I read this
Okay.
one like way early on NetGalley, so I wasn't really remembering when it came out. But it's definitely like the typical, in my opinion, of what we're describing.
Who is it by?
S.M. Govett.
Okay.
Govett. Okay. A woman, well, it says for fans of Haley Scrivener, who I've never heard of, Scrivener, and Lisa Jewell. And so that's why I had requested it, because it said fans of Lisa Jewell. Natalie Campbell loses time. She'll wake up in different places with no memory of how she got there. The blackouts are a symptom of her PTSD, which began after she was sexually assaulted by her boss, who was found not guilty. But she found ways to cope by setting up routines and marrying her supportive husband, Ryan. Then one day, her husband is accused of committing the same crime that ruined her life. Natalie desperately wants to believe he is innocent, but when Alice Litton, the young woman who accused him, is found murdered in the woods near their house, she begins to doubt the man she married. D.I. Helen Stratton is also healing from old wounds. Her older sister disappeared when she was 16, and the police didn't bother to investigate. Vowing to help other lost and vulnerable girls, she joins the force. Stratton is ready to do whatever it takes to catch the killer and bring justice to her and Alice. Tightly plotted, fastly addictive, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was kind of a... I just never know when the synopsis is over.
Do it. I get it.
I thought that this one was just kind of like unique, like it plays with memory and lost time.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in it.
Yeah, there's
there
a lot.
is.
The two perspectives seem like pretty separate for a pretty long time to me. But yeah, I thought the like losing memory and like coincidence of time, I remember like being kind of surprised because you like kind of think maybe you know the whole time, one of those.
Oh. I added it to my cart just now.
Oh yeah.
I added it to my TBR.
Because
and I was
that
a beehole in the review and said, I'll be honest, the blue and yellow covers with the lit window aren't it for me.
I just saw that.
But I said I was not disappointed.
just the like I would be interested enough in a book where this woman is like sexually assaulted and then her husband is accused of the same crime, but then the girl who is accusing him being found dead is like another like layer that is very interesting. But then also like this woman whose sister went missing when she was a teenager. Sign me up. Like anybody who goes missing after years and years and you're reading a book and you're like, I'm gonna find out what happened after a decade or two of this little person being missing, just sign me up.
Yeah, I felt like the detective and the other character, like their perspectives felt really different. Like the detective definitely feels like she's, I don't know if harsh is the right word, but definitely like she's been through it and you can kind of like feel that in her persona. Like she's kind
Yeah,
of got like a tough exterior.
I love that.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, now I need that one.
Yeah, I need that ASAP.
Hopefully,
ASAP.
hopefully I keep finding more audiobook narrators that I love, because the exponential way in which I am getting through books is kind of exhilarating.
There you go. You're just gonna be like, I'm gonna mood read. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my next one, very much blue, very much a yellow window, and it's called When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, and it is so
Oh my
good.
god, I love that
Oh
book.
yeah.
So good. It's from 2020, but I loved it. So, Sydney Green is Brooklyn born and raised, but her beloved neighborhood seems to change every time she blinks. Condos are sprouting like weeds. For sale signs are popping up overnight, and the neighbors she's known all her life are disappearing. I almost said disappointing. To hold on to her community's past and present, Sydney channels her frustration into a walking tour and finds an unlikely and unwanted assistant in one of the new arrivals to the block, her neighbor Theo. But Sydney and Theo's deep dive into history quickly becomes a dizzying descent into paranoia and fear. The neighbors may not have moved to the suburbs after all, and the push to revitalize the community may be more deadly than advertised. When does coincidence become conspiracy? Where do people go when gentrification pushes them out? Can Sydney and Theo trust each other or themselves long enough to find out before they too disappear?
Oh my god,
It's compared to Get Out and Rear Window, and those are some good things. If you've liked those, this is still very much its own story, but you'll enjoy it.
oh my god, that's
Yeah.
I love that book so much.
It was so good.
I
Like,
definitely agree with like the Get Out comparison too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like
Yep.
hate the app next door or like Facebook groups about neighborhoods, like you'll get
Yes.
riled about this one. I remember like my old neighborhood, the next door community was like so annoying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think about this book a lot when I think about like parts of town changing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely that.
You will think about it a lot too if you watch season 3 of Ginny and Georgia.
Mm.
Ooh.
Koala Gare. I don't have a segue,
That's okay.
but one that I just got on my Matcha Kindle baby is, it sounds like it's going to be perfect for summer, honestly, and it does have a blue and yellow cover, and I'm sold, and it's called The Pact by Sharon Bolton.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Oh my god, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
A golden summer and 6 talented teenagers are looking forward to the brightest of futures until a daredevil game goes horribly wrong, leaving 3 strangers dead. 18-year-old Megan takes the blame for the crime, leaving her friends to get on with their lives. In return, they each agree to a favor payable on her release from prison. 20 years later, Megan is free. It's payback time, and her friends start disappearing one by one.
I don't know who put this on my radar, but it was on my TBR. And then when you said the part that like she owes everyone a favor, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember hearing about this, but I never read it.
It sounds so, it just like sounds like summary, and I feel like it's going to probably have like a dual timeline
Yeah.
if, you know, we're going back and forth.
Mhm.
And it gives me like a little bit of I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes, and I just cannot wait. I will say for the record, I read Dead Woman Walking by Sharon Bolton,
Oh yeah.
which is like one of the craziest books I have ever read in my entire life, and it's very like actiony.
Uh-huh.
Like a woman is in an air balloon and sees like a man kill a woman, and then the air balloon goes down,
Yeah.
and it's
Dude, I
like
know,
so
yeah.
good. The
People
way
that
she
like
does,
her love her. Like people that love her
I
books, like love her books.
she is, yes, she is my like like one of my queens, and I don't know why I haven't read this yet, but I think that she is freaking brilliant.
Damn.
That one's been on my radar for a long time, and I don't know why I haven't.
I would say she's like a UK version of like Catherine Ryan Howard,
Ooh.
Jess Lowry,
Wow.
Ooh.
and like a little bit of Karen Slaughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm reading with my eyeballs instead of my ears right now. I'm reading
Karen
We Are
Slaughter?
All Guilty here. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So-
It has so many good reviews. Like everybody talks about
I can't stop thinking about the review.
how well she like pulls everything together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Standalone, right, or not?
Well, it could be a part of a
I think
series,
it's
but
gonna be
it's
part of
the
a series.
first.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh,
the
okay.
first.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. I love that book so much. Oh my god, I
Mhm.
can't stop thinking about it.
I'm excited to finish it.
How far
I
are
couldn't
you?
read yesterday. Oh, I'm not very far. I'm like 10 or 15. I was so tired that I just switched back to audio and just was listening to Night Watcher while I laid with my eyes closed.
There's like something around like 100 pages,
Okay.
maybe 150, that like I turned the page and my jaw dropped. Like I was like, what the fuck?
Oh
Whoa.
boy.
Yeah. Like I was like, how is this possibly happening?
Karen.
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 Karen,
Yes.
you down.
But the only Karen.
Yeah.
The only Karen in my life. I love her so much.
Oh yeah.
She's amazing.
She's so fucking cool. She's so funny.
That too.
Sounds really
Karen and Sharon. Two girls.
I love it.
Well, speaking of authors who have a lot of books out, this is my next one is the first and only one I've read so far by Megan Miranda, Daughter of Mine.
Oh
That
yeah.
came out last year, and I read it for a book club, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have never read Megan Miranda before, and I don't know why that is. Let's see. So this one is blue and yellow. It has a sinking car on the front.
Mm-hmm.
Not a window, but still. When Hazel Sharp, daughter of Mirror Lake's longtime local detective, unexpectedly inherits her childhood home, she's warily drawn back to the town and people she left behind almost a decade earlier. But Hazel's not the only relic of the past to return. A drought has descended on the region, and as the water level in the lake drops, long hidden secrets begin to emerge, including evidence that might help finally explain the mystery behind her mother's disappearance. That's a really short synopsis. There's a lot going on in that book, and I truly wasn't sure who did it. Like I kind of thought everybody did it.
I felt the same way. This was one of All the Missing Girls is my favorite of hers, but I think this was my second favorite of hers. I really enjoyed it.
Did I put this in our group chat about Megan Miranda? That like my fall goal is to reread all of her entire backlist.
Oh no, you have not.
Like I've I collected all of the Megan Miranda books that I own. Like even though I've only read like a few of hers, but I collected all of the books of hers that I own and like have ordered the only two that I don't. And like when you said that, I was like, wait a second, did I even tell them that? But like, yeah, that's my goal this fall is to read all of Megan Miranda's thrillers.
Oh my gosh. I still need to read The Perfect Stranger and The Only Survivors. So maybe I will read some with you.
Her new one coming out sounds good too.
Did I already get it?
She has such great colors.
It's the You Don't Belong Here.
You Belong Here.
And there's like a don't hidden in between on the...
There is?
Yeah, at least in my NetGalley cover. Yeah. If you look at the cover, there's this like don't hidden between you and belong.
Oh my god.
It's very, very I don't know, mysterious, I guess.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. And I think I do have it on NetGalley, so that one's coming up for me as a read.
I'm like always cracking up how I get like I am like you guys are like audiobook, and I'm like, I love a physical book. I get so many physical books, and there are so many details on covers that like I completely miss until somebody brings it up to me.
But when you look at though the on Goodreads, it's called You
It's
Belong
called You
Here.
Belong
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
it's if
but I
you
have a
didn't
copy of
notice,
it.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
looked
that's
at that
wild.
cover with my eyeballs that I'm
That
supposed to
is
read with,
bright.
and I
I'm gonna enter that giveaway. Let's do it.
but I agree. I think you would love All the Missing Girls. That book is
Mm.
wild,
Oh, it's
batshit
my
crazy.
favorite. I would
Yeah,
reread that one.
yeah. I want to reread that. Well, I'm
It's
gonna read
been
that
long
one.
enough.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh.
Well, my next one is an author we talk about sometimes, Miss Shari Lapina, and one of my first books that I technically would have read in this whatever subgenre is Not a Happy Family. I don't know if I already said that part. But very blue and yellow cover. Like all the lights are on in the house and there are people in different rooms and it's just suspenseful. In this family, everyone is keeping secrets, especially the dead. Brecon Hill in upstate New York is an expensive place to live. You have to be rich to have a house there, and they don't come much richer than Fred and Sheila Merton. But even all their money can't protect them when a killer comes to call. The Mertons are brutally murdered the night after an Easter dinner with their 3 adult kids, who, of course, are devastated. Or are they? They each stand to inherit millions. They were never a happy family, thanks to their capricious father and neglectful mother, but perhaps one of them is more disturbed than anyone knew. Did one of them snap after that dreadful evening, or was it someone else that night who crept in with the worst of intentions? It must be. After all, if one of your siblings was a psychopath, you would know, wouldn't you?
Whoa.
I
Wait,
will
which one
say
is this by her?
the ending is so dark. So like if you think this is going to be like a fluffy domestic suspense, no. It just gets darker and darker. What did you ask, Steph?
Sorry, which one by Charlotte Pino is this?
Not a happy family.
Oh, okay. She has a few blue and yellow.
Yes, she does. I think this was the first one of hers that I read. And I just loved it. I still remember at least 2 of the reveals at the end that truly made me feel like sick.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I want to reread all of her books too.
She has so many. I've only read not
Yes.
The Couple Next Door.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
My last pick is Shari Lapina.
Oh, I love that.
Cute.
What Have You Done is my favorite book by her so far, and also one of my favorite books of like that I read in 2024. Like I love this book so freaking much. It is so dark. There are so many like POVs in this one. Like at first I like had like a little bit of a hard time like paying attention to who's who, but I think she does a really good job of like a couple of sentences and being like, oh, like now I know who this is. One thing that didn't work for people is there's like, I don't want to say like a supernatural aspect, but there is like a perspective from a girl who's dead. But it's more like Lovely Bones than it is Riley Sager.
See, I like that.
I love it too.
But I guess if she hasn't done that before, is that why?
Yeah, but it's not like the whole perspective. It's just like,
and it doesn't explain everything. You're just getting her perspective.
Yeah, like she's kind of like seeing what's going on in like of her death. But it's basically about this sleepy little town called Fairhill, Vermont. So we got Vermont vibes, and it's very like fall and like small town and like brushed with fall. But this morning that will change. One innocent question could be deadly. What have you done? The teenagers get their kicks telling ghost stories in an old graveyard. The parents trust their kids will arrive home safe from school. Everyone knows everyone. Curtains rarely twitch. Front doors are rarely left unlocked. But when Diana Brewer isn't lying safely in her bed where she belongs, instead she lies in a hayfield circled by vultures discovered by a local farmer. How quickly a girl becomes a ghost. How quickly a town of friendly, familiar faces becomes a town of suspects. A place of fear and paranoia. Someone in Fairhill did this. Everyone wants answers.
I remember you loving it so much.
I
I have to read it.
The obsession
Yeah.
is like just unreal.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. The setting, it's like fall or winter. I just remember it being like a chilly book.
A chilly book.
And the opening with like I felt sick to my stomach with the opening because
Ooh.
like she did not like, this is not like my hair's perfectly fanned out and I'm just like look like I'm sleeping sort of dead body. Like this is like this girl
Yeah.
has been brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And it was very like shocking. But Shari Lapina is a queen, and I just love the book.
Tyler walked in when I was listening to Night Watcher with some descriptions of how 6 women had been killed. And he was like, just some light listening to get you going in the morning. I was
Oh,
like,
was it on
yes.
loud? It wasn't in your headphones?
Yeah. It
Oh.
was like I had it just like charging here and I was just like doing admin type work. And he came in and was like, okay, that's how you start your mornings.
Perfect.
Yep, it is.
I like listen to Crime Junkie while I'm working,
Mhm.
and like my dad came home yesterday and it was like, I thought she was shot in the head because her forehead was bashed in so hard. And he's
Oh,
like, oh, okay. He's like,
fun.
just relaxing after a hard day of work. And I was like,
Okay.
typing away about like payroll.
I'm
Doing
whatever.
great.
Yeah, just like living my
What do you
little boring
mean?
life.
Yes.
Something weird?
Yeah.
Nothing weird here.
Totally
Nothing
normal.
weird at all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of dark, I remember this book had a really dark ending. I actually had 2, my only 3 that I had like on my shelf were 2 Sally Hepworths and then The Devil and Mrs. Davenport, but the ending of Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth feels like dark enough to fit in with what you guys are talking about, so that's what I'm going to talk about.
Love it.
I love that book so much.
For as long as they can remember, Jessica, Nora, and Alicia have been told how lucky they are. As young girls, they were rescued from family tragedies and raised by a loving foster mother, Miss Fairchild, on an idyllic farm estate and given an elusive chance, second chance at a happy family life. But their childhood wasn't the fairy tale. Jesus Christ, you guys. Hold on.
Words are hard.
But their childhood wasn't the fairy tale everyone thinks it was. Miss Fairchild had rules. Miss Fairchild could be unpredictable, and Miss Fairchild was never ever to be crossed. In a moment of desperation, the 3 broke away from Miss Fairchild and thought they were free. Even though they never saw her again, she was always somewhere in the shadows of their minds. When a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters find themselves thrust into the spotlight as key witnesses, or are they prime suspects?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I do like the relationship between the sisters. It's really like cool. And then like there's obviously this like villainous woman, but you're not really sure what happens. And then you're like, holy shit.
God, that
You can make
Sally Hepworth, like always, like between like her book covers and like the general synopsis that you're given, like I'm always like, what a perfect beach read. And then like I read it and I'm like, this is so much fucking darker than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But that one is like insanely dark. It's so good though.
She just, I think I had shared, I just reposted, she talked about her new book. She's like, people were asking me when we're going to get a new book. Well, here it is. And I was like, I love you.
Yes. That's amazing.
Because I was like, it's been a hot minute now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's called Mad Mabel is the new book.
Oh my God, I hope it's like Strange Sally Diamond.
Hell yeah.
That would be so cool.
Oh, wait. You guys, remember when I talked about The Family Next Door? It was like her bonkers backlist book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I just saw on June 14th, she said it's coming out on the screen. And like an official teaser is out. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, Justine said that in the Patreon. I forgot to pass that information along.
Well, that's cool.
Ugh, now I gotta read that.
Interested for sure. Hey
Ooh,
there, if we ever actually do a adaptations, I need to keep that.
yeah.
Oh, that would be
Mad
fun.
Mabel is about an 81-year-old named Elsie Mabel Fitzpatrick
Oh.
who's lived on her idyllic
Oh.
street for 60 years. And then few would suspect that she has a past that she has worked exceedingly hard at concealing because when it comes to murder, no one ever respects little girls or old ladies.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I love
Mad
that.
Mabel.
secrets. Well, I am being interrupted by dogs, everyone, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, I thought you already.
I thought you did too.
No, I just need to record this so that I can have it. But if you have any blue and yellow covers that you think we should read, let us know. And if you ever have topics you want us to do, you can DM any of us. So
Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow.